Okay, so test tomorrow. Kale, it's just telling them test tomorrow. This is what's going to be on test. If everybody's participating today, then you're not going to have homework. If I have to remind people to follow along, then we'll have homework. So the first one, I want to know which scatter plot is most likely to have a line of best fit represented by y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3. Alright, so I am giving you an equation. I want to know which of these would be best. Can I graph y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3? How would you graph that? Your y-intercept would be at 3. Are there any of these, we know then the slope would be negative 1/4. So what does that tell us about our relationship? Is it increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. Can you automatically remove any of these? A and C. Because if we look, both of those are increasing. Okay, so we don't want either of those. If I were to graph y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3, so we start at positive 3, the y-intercept. Slope of negative 1/4 means you would go down 1, right 4, or you could go up 1 and left 4. Does that seem like a pretty good graph for B? Yeah. If I tried that one on D, if I hadn't just gotten lucky and picked the best one, we would see right away that it was definitely not a good option. You know, it's the same line, but if I graphed it over here, it's decreasing, but it's nowhere close to my actual data. So correct answer is B. So if that were the first question on your test tomorrow, could everybody look at it and decide which ones to mark off, which ones definitely wouldn't work? Because you can look at positive or negative slope. Positive slope's increasing, negative slope decreasing. And then can you graph your line and decide which one is best? Okay. Second thing, on our test tomorrow, we are going to have these tables where we have to make some predictions. So, let's look at that. What did I have you do when I gave you this data? Okay, everybody needs a graphing calculator. And remember, we go stat, edit. If there's data in there, you clear it out. Do not hit delete. So you go up on the title, hit clear, enter. And then I'm going to type in my data. Did everyone get that data entered? Where do we go from here? Stat. Over to calculate, and which one do we want? Number 4. Just enter through all of this. So it tells me A is 1.4 and B is 7.6. So remember, A is your slope, B is your y-intercept. So y equals 1.4x plus 7.6. So when I ask for that equation, you have to give it to me with an x and a y in it. A is your slope, B is your y-intercept. Did everyone get that? Anyone need me to look at your calculator? make sure you're doing clear and not delete, because then nothing works right if you do delete. So in this, remember the months, that was my X. My weight was my Y. So we have our line. Estimate Hannah's weight at her 1 year visit. When I say 1 year, am I giving you X or Y? X. But X has to be measured in months. So 1 year means X is equal to 12 months. So I'm going to plug that into my equation. So Y equals 1.4 times X, which is 12, plus 7.6. And you're welcome to put all of that directly into your calculator. And I get 24.4 pounds for her weight. Is that okay with everyone? Okay, so if you have a question like that tomorrow, you guys can all answer that one. Get your equation and go from there. The next one is similar, but my X's is telling us a birth year. What did we do when we had years? Did we use 1900, 1910 in our calculator? No, because it gave us really weird equations. What did we use instead?
0.
This would be 0. So if 1900 is year 0, then 1910 would be 1920 would be 30, 40, 50, 60. On the quiz, you will probably have one like that. Make sure you are writing in what you're doing for your X values. Okay, so everybody should have this written in. And now what do we need to do? Okay. Do not delete, just clear your list. Did everyone get that entered? And then you go to Stat, calculate number 4. Enter through everything here. Okay, this one is not quite as nice. So we have A equals 0.4014, so we usually did 2 decimal places, so 0.40. Plus what B was 46.8. All right, so remember this is my X, this is my Y. If I want the life expectancy for someone born in 2005, the year is my X. The X is number of years since 1900. So 2005 is how many years? 105. So we plug that into our equation. And that is in years. Any questions on that one? One more scatter plot question. So this one gives me the actual scatter plot. If I have to write the equation from that, I need the values to put into my calculator. So we have to think about if we made our t-chart. So this first point, that's when my x is 1, my y is 40. Okay, this would be when x is 1, y would be 55. Okay, tell me what this point is. Everybody should be able to tell me what that order pair would be.
60.
Okay, what's this one going to be?
Two and 65.
2 and 70. Alright, Julius, what's this point? Right here. 3 and I think it's 70. We're counting by 10s. Alright, Keaton, what's this point?
Oh,
Right here.
80.
And the x is 4. Alright, Jetta, what's this one? This point right here, what would that be? And the x would be 5. Okay, this one, Holden.
6 and 80.
This one, Kale. What's this point? And the x is 7. And Bailey, what's the last one? Okay, so those are the points you enter in your calculator. So we had to be able to read this to get them. So clear out what's there. Then you go to your stat, calculate number 4. So my A is 6.65. My B is 47.56. Did everybody get that? So then the grade for a student who did not study at all. X is the hours they spent studying. If you didn't study at all, how many hours is that?
0.
0. So it's just asking when X is 0. So it's 47.56. Yeah, I think so. Just asking for a percent on the test. Alright, so scatter plot questions. That's tomorrow's test. It's just like this, one piece of paper, front and back. So the front is all the scatter plot stuff. Are you guys confident that you can handle those? Okay. The back back is the word problem. So how many different types of word problems have we done?
4.
4. So there's 4 questions on your quiz or on your test tomorrow. So there's probably one of each type, just like on this review. So let's take a look at those questions. Okay. So number 5 says, I have a piggy bank with all dimes and quarters. In total, I have $3.60. So I have 2 different things. We have dimes, we have quarters. What did we do with that? How did I write that? Did I give you like slope and y-intercept?
AX equals C, Y equals C.
Yeah. So x could be dimes, y could be quarters. Those can be flipped, which is why you have to tell me what x and y are. Okay, so if I'm just giving you 2 types, then we set it up with an x and y. We've done several of these money type questions. So if I were to give you a hint, I might tell you there might be one like this on your test tomorrow. How much is a dime worth? 10 cents. So 10 cents times the number of dimes plus quarters are worth, so 0.25 times my number of quarters, which is y, equals how much money?
360.
So I could ask you that. If I asked you nickels, how much is a nickel worth?
0.05.
0.05. If I said a penny, it would be 0.01. So you do each type of coin times its value equals our total. So that's my equation. So that's what this is asking for. I put these blanks here because some of you, I'm really struggling to look at your problems and find your equations because you are like plugging in numbers for them just as fast as you write your equation. So on the quiz, I will have a slot for you to actually put the actual equation with an x and a y. Then we have to go back. If I have 8 quarters, so quarters, that was my y. So I'm going to plug 8 in for my y. And we have to solve that equation. So 0.25 times 8 is 2. Subtract over our 2. We have 2.10x equals 1.60. Divide. And you get x to be 16. So my solution, how many dimes? So we have 16 dimes. All right, so this is our strategy if we have 2 different types of problems. Likely the one on your test tomorrow will be a money type problem as well. Is that one okay? Number 6. So, at a fair, Sam paid $12 to enter and $3 for each ride that he rode. Okay, I only gave you 2 numbers here. $12 to enter. How many times do you pay that $12? Once. Anything that is a one-time fee is going to be what? B. So everybody should be writing down right now. Our B is 12. We paid that $12 one time. Then we have to pay $3 for each ride that we rode. So how many times do you pay for that? Once or multiple times? Multiple. Anything that you're paying multiple times is what? M. So our equation, remember, just y equals mx plus b. I have m and I have b. So our equation is y equals 3x plus 12. So these types don't really require a whole lot of work because I already gave you M and B. Then I want to find the cost for 8 rides. Okay, do you think the 8 is my X or my Y?
X.
X. Y is our cost. I told you Y is almost always going to be the dollar amount. So if I plug in an 8, because I have to pay $8 or $3 for every ride, so 3 times 8. We get 24 plus 12 for $36 for the total cost. All right. Any questions there? Let's look at this next one. At a t-shirt printing company, the cost for 10 shirts is $100. These things are happening at the same time. 10 shirts, $100. When I give you 2 numbers that are happening at the same time, what have I just given you? An ordered pair. The cost for 15 shirts is $135. Again, those go together. When you have 15 shirts, the cost is $135. So that is a second ordered pair. If we have 2 points, how do we get the equation from that? What do we have to find?
Well, the 135 minus the 100
We need,
over 15 minus
right, we have to do our slope. Remember y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. In my points, this is like x1, y1, x2, y2. So 135 minus 100 over 15 minus 10. So we get 35 over 5, which is 7. Now I have my m. So then remember we did our point slope. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x. So we take our point, we take our slope, and we're plugging in there. Is everyone with me to this point? Okay, so y minus, it doesn't matter which point you use, I'll just go with the first one. The y value of that point is 100, equals m, our slope was 7, times x minus the x value of that point was 10. So then we get y minus 100 equals 7x minus 70. Add over the 100. So we get 7x plus 30. That is my equation. So this is one where we are given 2 ordered pairs. Have to remember how to write an equation from that. And now to answer the question, it says solve a linear equation to find the cost of 21 shirts. Look back at your order pairs. 10 comma 100. The 10 was the number of shirts, the 100 was my cost. So if I tell you 21 shirts, that was the x. 57 times 21 plus 30. So we plug that in. 147 plus 30 is $177. So we've seen the AX plus BY equals C type. We've seen one where I just give you your point and slope, or your slope and y-intercept, and we've seen one where I give you 2 points. I would like for everybody to read problem 8, take a couple minutes, and see if you can figure out that equation. Okay. So when I'm reading this problem, a phone company charges a connection fee plus $74 per month. So you pay that 74 repeatedly. Anytime we see the word per, what are we thinking?
And
So I am giving you your M. I'm telling you your repeated fee. Per means that's our slope. Then we had it for 3 months and we paid $247. Those things happen at the same time. When I'm giving you two things that happen at the same time, I'm giving you a. So now we can plug into our point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals M x minus x1. So y minus 247 equals the M, 74, times x minus our x value, which was 3. Distribute. What is it? 222, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we add over the 247. So we get y equals 74x plus 25. I saw a couple people that wrote this as their final equation. I wouldn't count that wrong. We just usually went ahead and switched it to y equals mx plus b form. Okay, from there, I want to find the cost for 7 months. So you have to figure out, is 7 months the x or the y? So look back at this order pair. The 3, that was months. 247 was the dollar. So if I said 7 months, that is my x. So y equals 74 times 7 plus 25. So you get $543 for your final cost. Alright. Is that okay? So is everyone perfectly clear on what this test is tomorrow when you come in? So you have scatter plots and you have word problems. If you think you might finish early, bring something else to work on. Don't start asking me to go places. Okay, if you finish early, you need to have something else to work on. We have a little bit of time right now. What I'm going to say is if you are caught up, you have some free time. If you only work, this is your time to do it. So I know Friday, a couple people didn't get done with that scatter plot, and you couldn't really do that at home because it required that graphing calculator. So I'm giving you a little extra time if you did not finish Friday's paper, or if you have any other missing assignments. So if you're not sure, ask me, and I'll be happy to fill you in there.